Okay, let's talk about enamel. Enamel is the most mineralized tissue in our body. It also is a mineralized epithelium. That's the classification of enamel. Mineralized epithelium. Its color is translucent. Translucent means that it really doesn't have a color, and actually enamel is the reflex color of the dentin, and dentin is yellowish. We're gonna talk about dentin later. So the composition of enamel is 96% inorganic, and inorganic means mineral, and most of the mineral that compose it enamel is called calcium, hydroxy, apatite, and the formula for this is calcium 10 PO 4 6 OH 2. So it's also composed of 1% organic and 3% water. There are other minerals present in the enamel, but in much less extent. It's just trace minerals. So just some examples are sodium, fluoride, carbonate, magnesium, and potassium. So enamel is going to determine the anatomical crown. And we can affirm that because enamel covers the whole crown. We don't have enamel in the roots. What covers the roots is the cementum. So the process of producing enamel is called amelogenesis. So I'm gonna start from the beginning. So if you remember the stages of development of the tooth, if you don't remember, please review the video. The internal enamel epithelium is going to differentiate it and give origin to the pre-ameloblast. And remember, in this phase over here, you had two kinds of cells. I'm gonna make it big. So we had two kinds of cells. One was the odontoblasts. And if you remember, odontoblasts produce dentin. The other one was the pre-ameloblast. What was going to happen is that the odontoblast is going to produce matrix, which you call predentin, and it's going to secrete predentin over here. And then on the other side, we still have the ameloblast. This is the odontoblast that produce dentin. So it starts to produce matrix, dentin matrix over here. And when the odontoblast, which I'm gonna color in orange, when the odontoblast enters in contact with the predentin, then it also is going to differentiate it. And it's going to start to produce also matrix. and we're gonna call this enamel matrix. So remember, this is an odontoblast. So this process over here that formed, we call odontoblastic process. And this process that forms in the ameloblast, it calls Tom's process. Just to review. So let's go back over here. The internal enamel epithelium differentiated into pre-ameloblasts, but then when pre-ameloblasts enter in contact with pre-dentin, then this is going to become the ameloblasts. And ameloblast is going to secrete matrix, which you call enamel matrix, and it's going to produce enamel. And that's how we form enamel. Well, but now we are going to talk about the histological features in the enamel. Although we don't have a histological lamp, I'm going to try to make some drawings over here. So we need to know that the crystalline unit of the enamel, it calls enamel rods. That's the unit of the enamel. Okay, and those rods, they look more or less like this. Okay, so millions of these rods, they are gonna form the enamel. So when we see on the microscope the enamel, I'm gonna make really big, so just to illustrate. It's not that big, but we're gonna see something like this. Actually, the enamel is much smaller, but just to illustrate over here, I'm gonna do that really big, and I'm gonna make the enamel yellow. So in yellow we have enamel. Okay. Then I'm gonna make dentin orange. And in a histologic lamp, because this is done by demineralization of all these tissues, the pulp is gonna be clear actually. So this is your dentin, and that's your pulp. Okay, let's start with the easy features. So you're gonna have, remember, the enamel is formed for apposition, and when it's formed by apposition, it's going to form those lines over here, several lines, and those lines, they are less mineralized than the other parts of the enamel, but they are really important because they give characteristics to the enamel. You're gonna only find those lines in the enamel, and we're gonna call retizus lines. Okay. There is another feature that we can see on the microscope, and I'm gonna make it blue over here. It's a line that crosses the whole enamel, and we're gonna call those enamel lamella, and those are the blue, this blue line. So there are another features over here that I'm going just to represent. There are some lines here on the D. Oh, by the way, what's the name of this line over here? If this is dentin and this is enamel, that's the DEJ, is the line that separates the two tissues. That's the dentino-enamel junction. So on the dentino-enamel junction, there is this little structures over there. We're gonna call those enamel spindles. And enamel spindles, I'm gonna give you the definition. Those are short dentinal tubules. Short dentinal tubules, okay? But there are another structures that are brush-like that also appears on the DEJ, and those brushes we're gonna call enamel tuft. Okay, they are really dark lines that looks like a brush. And for enamel, that's how we need to know.